30 seconds to live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Esports Hub talk show. We're already starting it off. Let's go, Tony. Come on. Get those guns in. You didn't do it last time. You didn't do it last time.
I don't want to smash my camera, mate. That's what it is.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point. That's a fair point. It makes sense. But that's right, guys. We are live here on the Esports Hub talk show. And today, we've got so much more to talk about. We've got the patch that recently came out to talk about. We're going to be talking about MLG Dallas, talking about the groups, the open bracket, and taking a look at the future events as well. And don't forget, we always mention the amateur Rostermania changes and anything that's happened within the scene. But I want to introduce the guys that are with me. Paradox has already shown us his guns. He's rocking Optic and FaZe today. Paradox, how are you doing, my man?
Oh, I'm so excited. Dallas is like right there. I get to just spend the entire weekend watching Call of Duty. Anytime that happens, I'm in for a good weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Call of Duty binge will be happening this weekend with Paradox. And Tony, how are you doing, my man? Rocking the polo shirt, like, loving it?
Do you know what? Well, I'm actually quite sort of hyper and excited today.
Awesome.
You know, I've literally just got in from work, but I think that Paradox's excitement is passing on to me, you know what I mean?
You're just feeling the energy.
Yeah. I wasn't, 10 minutes ago, I wasn't excited for Dallas. Now, because of that man, I'm excited.
Paradox, you changed lives, Paradox. You changed lives. You've added
it's the first time this happened.
So, one thing I want to ask you about, though, and I'm pretty sure some of the people will be asking as well, is you're rocking the Optic t-shirt and the FaZe hoodie in the background. Now, what's the reason behind this one, Paradox? What's the reason?
All right, so I just hadn't worn the Optic shirt on stream, and I was like, all right, you know, they won Paris, so I'll throw this on, and then I'm like, wait, they went against FaZe. Last event, I have my FaZe hoodie right there. I can just switch it around. So, yeah, we got the ESWC matchup right here.
I kind of get this feeling then. So, depending on which team makes the final, you just do like a quick clothes change. You know, actually, I'm a FaZe fan now. That's the one. FaZe for the win.
I actually did that. What was that? Back in Advanced Warfare, that grand final between Optic and Stunner. I didn't have my Optic shirt on. And I was like, all right, they're about to win. I'll just throw my Optic shirt on, whatever.
He's a proper E-boy, isn't it? He is the definition of an E-boy. Whatever organisation is doing well at the minute, he's on it straight away. Like, look at me, followed you for years. He's like a Man City fan, isn't he? That's who he is. He's the equivalent of a Man City
Tony has told you and told everyone on the show for a long time as well. Bulldog are going to do big things at I-60, so you may need to purchase a Bulldog jersey.
I didn't say we were going to do big things at I-60. I'd like to point that.
But you may have to buy a Bulldog jersey or a Bulldog hoodie just so in the off chance that maybe Bulldog do, you know, manage to rock that Bulldog hoodie in the background. But yeah, guys, we've got so much to talk about today. And I'm going to start off by saying, remember, we always love you guys getting involved, whether it's in the Twitch chat, whether it's on Twitter or any other form of social media, let us know. And if you do want to get involved and ask any of us a question or just have your say on the show, then put it in the Twitch chat. We're always watching, or then let us know on Twitter at the Esport Hub using the hashtag code ESHUB. So, guys, let's talk about it then. The recent patch. Has anybody played Call of Duty since the patch came out? Because I know I have, and I just can't stand the new Type 2 Star Wars meta. What is going on?
I'm getting melted by the Type 2 left and right.
It's horrible. Like, I literally, like, the whole feeling of Call of Duty for me is just, like, gone. Okay, like, the whole jumping around, like, that took it away from me to start off with. But now I can lose a gunfight to somebody that's got worse accuracy than me, but he gets the kill because... Trust me, he's got worse accuracy than me, but he wins the gunfight because he's shooting the wall behind me and the bullets are bouncing off the wall and killing me.
That's the thing. I'm really not a fan of the... Like,
do you know what? I don't even play this. I still haven't prestiged my account at the first level. Like I'm like level 40, not even prestige. I ain't even got the OSR yet. I don't even know what the fuss was about all that because I've not got into this game. I spend longer watching it, like with the lads and that, than I had played it. So I don't know. I know they weren't happy. There was like a day when everything was just going mental, and some people were using it, some people were before the agreement come in, and I know it weren't enjoyable. But I think everyone's got an agreement. They're not going to use it now anyway. So
everyone's been saying that. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
It's just crazy. I mean.
The problem might be, in the pool, in the open bracket though, because in the pools, everyone's agreed. So if you're someone like Epsilon at that probably haven't been practicing with it because they're assuming they're going to be in the pools where no one's going to use it, and then in the open bracket, that could be a consideration.
I mean, this is kind of the same thing when we were looking at E6 in the OSA. It's kind of got that same feeling towards it. You know, if you come up against a team that's practiced with the Type 2 and knows how to use this new meta, maybe the ERADs, the Type 2s, you know, they could destroy a very, very strong team that hasn't been practicing, like you said, because they've agreed not to use it. Now, in my eyes, personally, I'm going to say it out there now, I don't give a shit about friendships. I am winning the tournament. I don't care.
You're not winning the tournament.
No, I'm not personally winning the tournament. Let's be honest. I'm not even at the tournament. I'm not even casting the tournament. I'm nowhere near winning the tournament. But let's be honest. Honestly, there's 80 grand up for grabs. I don't care if someone comes up to me and goes, "Oh, but we said we weren't going to use it." And what? I'm making 80k. I don't care. I'm using the Type 2. If it's going to make me win the map, then that's what I'm going to do. But you know. That's kind of what we spoke to Neslo about last time. He was talking about friendship circles and stuff, and it's too much like not competitive anymore. It's too much about caring about what other people think and what other people say. And I'm sorry, but with 80k on the line, I don't care what anybody says. If I'm pulling that Type 2 out to gun scum, that's what I'm doing. I'm going to do it.
That's a lot of money. Like
it is a lot of money. It's 20.
And then you have teams that are fighting for a spot in the Global Pro League at that.
Yeah,
so
true.
it's like, hey, that's 500.
Can you imagine saying to your organization owner, "Oh, we're sorry we didn't make the league because we agreed not to use a weapon"?
Exactly. They'll laugh at you.
So do you expect that someone's going to do the dirty then? Considering there's a gentleman agreement pretty much between all the pros.
Oh, someone's going to do it.
I know there is, right? So do you think someone's going to do the dirty then? Like, they're Dan, you know what I mean? They're like, we need to do this.
If
Someone's
anybody
going to do it.
Yeah, if anybody's Hakes, something like that. You know.
If anyone, it's going to be one of those bubble teams.
Yeah.
First thing, right off the break.
I just like can't imagine a team. I mean, I expect open bracket teams. Don't get me wrong. I expect like open bracket teams, if they're good with it, they will use it. But again, I don't know. Is it good for Call of Duty that they don't use it? So let's take a look at it as a viewership experience, right? So we're all viewers. We're all pumped and excited for Dallas coming up. Is it good for us that they've agreed not to use it because we know it's going to be K-Bars, MV4s, it's about gun skill and necessarily, or is it taking away an element of Call of Duty that's been put in the game for a reason by Infinity Ward?
My opinion is if it's there, use it, to be honest. But I don't play, so I don't know how annoying it is to play against, if it affects the game as a spectacle or something like that. Because, like I said, I don't play it that often. But in my opinion, if they've got it in there, just get... I'm a man-up man, and I can't handle all the whining all the time. Like, just man up and use the gun. If you can't use it, the other team's going to be better than you. They're going to win, aren't they? I don't buy into all this whining all the time. It's a computer game. Just get on and play it.
Well, it is true.
Like, my innate bias is like, I'm just going to enjoy the matches no matter what. So, honestly, for like the player and everything, that might take something away from the enjoyable experience of playing and competing. But for me as a spectator, I'm going to watch no matter what, honestly.
I mean, it would be very much like...
So what's it go at?
Yeah, Office, RMV,
yeah.
or E6, or any American team.
Or Wingman's team.
Oh.
Yeah, true. Are we
He's got a little crush on Wingman.
Okay, well, we know Tony's going to like sit there and just take notes throughout Fanatics games the entire time.
Yeah. The moment Fnatic don't make it through, that's it. We'll go, Tony, did you watch it? Nah, not after Champions Saturday, no. Don't
Does
even know.
Wingman follow you, Paradox?
What?
Does Wingman follow you on Twitter?
I don't think so.
What?
Would you like me to get him to follow you?
Let's get Weeman to follow Power.
Yeah, we'll get feedback. We'll get Weeman.
No, he doesn't.
Everybody who's watching, tweet at Weeman and say follow Paradox.
I'll just DM him.
Oh, Tony can just ruin it all and DM him. But everybody do it anyway. Just do it because we want to prove to people that we can have this army of the esports hub that can convince people to do crazy things, obviously humane things. Like
sign up on a new website.
Yeah, like sign up. What a plug.
Shameless
plug for Paradox. What a plug. Guys, that is very, very true. If you haven't seen our new Esports Hub website, go over and check it out. It's absolutely insane. I know that might sound like a biased opinion, but honestly, in terms of esports platforms, it's one of the fastest ones I've ever seen in terms of running speed. It's very, very simple, very easy to pick up, and very easy to find a game and a team to play online with. There's loads of tournaments going to come in the future. So much stuff to do on that website. Make sure you go check it out. We'll get that linked in the chat for you guys now, so you can go over there and make an account as soon as you possibly can before anyone takes your name. Remember,
I was going to say, that's the most important thing, right? Do it now, because then you get the cool name.
Yeah, get the cool names.
Yeah.
Go in there, get your name. You know, you can maybe even Tom. Just Tom might still be available at this point in time. So go make sure you go over there and grab them. And there's so many tournaments to come and so much fun to be had with that website. So thank you very much, Paradox. Fantastic plug, mate. What great skills from you. I love that. Right. I want to move on, though, because IW did an update. We spoke about the update that IW did, and it wasn't just the weapons. We finally got Emblem Editor, guys. Woo! We're only 6 months into the game. I don't know how it's like something like that, 5 months into the game, and we finally got Emblem Editor.
We have to look at crazy stuff now.
Yeah, people can finally, if they really, really want to, make a Bulldog logo and have it as their emblem. Or even better, an Esports Hub logo.
Has anyone done that yet?
I don't know.
I expected Johnny to be like the first one to come out and just do that right off the break.
I'll tell you what, running the world like.
I'll tell you what. Here's a plan of action. The first person while we're live now to make an Esports Hub logo as their PSN as their PSN picture, right?
Okay.
Covered.
I will have the Esports Hub follow you. I will follow you. I will get Tony to follow you, and Paradox will follow you. You are in this, and you don't have anything to say about it.
Why don't you give them a better prize than that?
What
Exactly?
They're getting followed by Cast Campbell. What more do they want?
Right, well, I think as you are sponsored by X Gamer, right, and it was your idea, then
You're sponsored by
Yeah, there you go.
wasn't my idea, was it? Then surely you should supply him with some X Gamer. That's what I think. In the chat, if you think Campbell should get you some X Gamer for doing this, what he wants you to do, then that's what I think the prize should be.
Yeah.
Myself, you know what I mean? Then you agree, Paradox?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Yeah?
All jokes idea.
I don't like the way this one's gone. I was trying to be nice, some Twitter follows, nothing too serious. But anyway, no, seriously. I tell you what then. You put me on the spot here, Tony. I will still get the Esports Hub to follow you, and I myself will follow you. I don't know about Tony, but Tony will follow you, and Paradox will follow you. And maybe, if the logo is pristine, I will have a conversation with X Gamer via Tony, and we will see if we can get something for you. Maybe we can have a conversation about it or whatever. But I want one on the chat while we're live. I want one to come through. I want to see somebody who's in the chat make an Esports Hub logo on their PSN for Infinite Warfare and see if we can see it. Because I think it'll be really good, and we'll post it on the Twitter as well and see what artwork you guys can come up with. But yeah, Emblem Editor's finally here, though. I mean, Paradox, is in my eyes, this is just another thing that is proven to us that this game was never finished.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm just happy it's there now. Like, everyone, I saw people tweeting out like, "Oh, we made Mind Freak logos, made logos supporting our favorite teams. If we're not gonna have those in there, like as DLC or anything to customize, let the people make them." And I'm happy that we finally have it.
Do you not think Paradox would be a really good boyfriend, right? Because he's very forgiving. He's very forgiving, isn't he? Like, no matter what it is, he always sees the good side of it. So, there's any girls out there as well, like in the States, like
that's true.
You need to get amongst this man. He is very forgiving,
and
no
also,
matter what happens.
Proven,
you know what? I'm happy.
He's proven
now.
no matter who you support, he will support them too. No matter who you support.
That's the only thing. He ain't very loyal, is he? So maybe
he's onto one team.
Okay.
He's not loyal, is he?
All right.
You might think you're his only one, but
if I wasn't loyal, would I be on the show every week?
True.
That's true. That's true. That's true. He won't forget your birthday. That's what that's good for. He'll be on time for dates, and he won't forget your birthday.
And with the amount of information
he'll research the date as well, so you'll know everything you're going to do.
That's the thing with the amount of research we get from Paradox. You know how you say don't get in an argument with your girlfriend because she'll bring everything up? Don't get in an argument with Paradox because he'll start bringing things up from the start of your relationship in a PDF document presented on the wall with everything you ever did. So make sure you be careful of that one. But no, Paradox, maybe he might find his love on the Esports Talk Show. We don't know. But anyway, guys, we want to talk about one more thing as well. I really want to throw it out there quickly. Normally we have a guest join us, but unfortunately, because of obviously MLG Dallas and every single person is making their way out there, and it's a massive competition. So anybody practically involved in esports is doing something this weekend, and we haven't managed to get anybody on the show for you. So we do apologize, but we will definitely look to get some high superior people on after MLG Dallas and see if we can get hopefully, I get an interview with the team that won it. So that's as long as it's not Optic Gaming. But anyway,
as long as it's Fnatic, we can get a team.
So if Fnatic win, we'll have
someone from Fnatic on.
But anyway, I want to just move on a little bit more to something that you guys may have seen in the pubs game modes while you've been playing, and it's like little MP11, and a lot of people have been confused about it. Now, have you guys seen the MP11 rank yet while you've been playing Call of Duty? Yeah.
I saw it 2 days ago, I want to say.
Yeah, so I saw it, and at first I thought I was in a hacker's lobby. I literally backed out of that lobby so fast. I thought like I was going to get D-ranked or I was going to get 1 kill. You remember back in the MW2 days where you would join that lobby and you were like...
You already knew something was up.
Yeah, you were really trying to grind and you wanted to like get to the level by yourself, and you would kill one person and get like 15 million XP and be like Prestige 3. Sometimes it was good, but when you were actually generally wanting to grind the game and you just like... It was so bad. But anyway, so I saw that MP11 and I thought, oh, this is a hacker. I backed out the lobby. I was gone, right? I got back into it though, and then there was another one with an MP11, and I realized somebody said to me that it was Master Prestige. So that's right, guys. The point I'm trying to get across to here is Master Prestige is back in Call of Duty. So the thing is, they're kind of, I guess they're trying to make a bit of longevity for the game. You know, trying to, there's a further goal to go for. But I still feel though, without the rank system in it, the game just isn't addictive anymore. And I may sound like, if any of you seen Nadeshot's video, I may sound like I'm repeating everything he said, because that's what he touched upon, was the fact that there is without this ranking system, there's nothing to play. But like, let's ask this question then. Rank play back in Black Ops 2, did you guys play it?
Yeah,
and did you guys enjoy it? Did you get onto Call of Duty just to play ranked?
Hands down, yeah.
The thing is, I could play anything back then for hours, right? So, see, when the CODs were in, I'd literally finish work or whatever I was doing, and I'd go home, and I'd be, like, sort of sleeping, like, 4 hours a night, because I'd be staying up as late as I could, because I was really enjoying it, and I wanted to play the game, right? And, you know what I mean? It ain't like I was a young kid then. So, that was how it was, but I just I haven't felt like that since Ghost, maybe?
Yeah.
About Call of Duty. And like I said, it may be because I'm an old sod and all that jumping around just fires my brain. But
you've got to look at esports titles like CSGO, League of Legends, Dota, Overwatch. All of these titles have a ranked system within their game. They all have a system that if you are not in... Basically, it seems that if you're not in CWL, there is no competitive Call of Duty. You cannot play competitive Call of Duty. Yeah, you can play UMG and you can play tournaments and stuff, but it's not that... There's no end goal. You know, there's no and I feel like with rank play, it really gave you. I mean, how many times would you be playing rank play and you were like, oh no, I've got a bronze and I've got to carry, and if I lose, then I'm going to get D-ranked, and that whole addictive feeling has been lost from Call of Duty. And I think going into the next game, I really want to see a rank system come back in, because that's why people play CS and that's why people play Dota and that's why people play League. It's that end goal of knowing that you are one of the best in that game. There's nothing better than knowing that you are in that top 100 or you're in that top 50 or whatever. And it's the same with FIFA. I mean, look how well FIFA's doing with this thing that they're doing. This whole...
I don't like FIFA.
True, FIFA can be a very infuriating game, but talking about the weekend league that they're doing and this new system, they've pumped so much money in, so much into this, and it's free to everybody. Anybody can enter. Anybody can just hop on and just play it, and if they win their amount of games, they can get a spot to play for thousands and thousands of pounds. And I just love the way that system's done, because it's bringing in new people. Everybody gets the chance. There isn't this separation of pro and amateur. You either are good at FIFA or you're not. And I think with Call of Duty, it's you're either a pro player or you're not. And that's where I feel about it now. It's not if you're good. It's not if you're anything like that.
Does it make Jack sad?
It does make Jack sad, Tony. It does.
I could see that you're getting sad. Like you might have things that Nadeshot said, and then you're just getting emotional.
Right, there goes my Nadeshot.
Almost regurgitated the Nadeshot video, but shorter.
Yeah. I need to get rid of my Nadeshot scripts now because it's empty. I've run out of it.
That's it, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think he had a very valid point. And you should probably go check out his video as well if you haven't. But that I was just basically touching upon it and a lot of things on it. I think it makes sense, and I hope to see it come back anyway. But let's talk competitive Call of Duty, Paradox. MLG Dallas is literally round the corner. We got excited about it at the start of the day. I want to start off straight away by just telling everybody how you can watch MLG Dallas this week. I was about to call it MLD Dallas. MLG Dallas this weekend starts on Friday, March 17th. That's day one. Saturday is March the 18th, and then Sunday, March 19th, that's Travesty Championship Sunday. But the ways you can watch it is on MLG across the whole weekend. And also, unfortunately, it's once again is on Twitch, but with that 1 hour delay. So probably the best way to watch it would be on MLG.tv. Make sure you guys do tune in. It's going to be a fun weekend. And obviously, so many teams need those points to be able to qualify for that LAN League, because obviously it's the cut-off date for the LAN League as well. But let's go over to the groups, though, Paradox. because I want to start to take a look at the groups. We touched upon them last time, but let's just go into a little bit further detail with them. So Group A is going to be Optic Gaming, Team Envious, Red Reserve, and the Australian team Tainted Minds. Pool B is E United, Team Infused, Cloud9, and Mindfreak. Pool C, FaZe Clan, Luminosity Gaming, Elevate EU, and Fnatic. And then in Pool D, we've got Rise Nation, Splice, Enigma 6 Group, and Panda Gaming. Now, I have to ask the question, I'm going to throw it out there straight away, Paradox. Who is the group of death out of these 4 groups?
Group of death, I mean, the first thing, if you just look at these right off the break, you think, oh, Pool A, because you have Optic, Envy, and then you have Red Reserve. But just saying that, I really am looking at Pool C, and it's like, wait a second. This is a FaZe team that just came second in Paris. This is a Luminosity squad that had a really good run over the past 2 events, I would say. They look to be a little bit back into form. We have Elevate who's been shaking things up, of course, beating Cloud9, coming up on top against NA teams recently. And then we have Fnatic in full stride right now. I'm saying you think this one goes up to FaZe. I think they're the easiest one to say they get out of this group. If we're seeing the LG we saw from the past 2 events, they're that easy second. But Elevate and Fnatic can shake things up here if FaZe and LG are not on point going into the start.
I mean, Tony, I'm looking at these groups as well, and I kind of get the feeling I agree with what he's saying with Pool A, because obviously you've got the likes of Optic Gaming, Team Envious, and then obviously probably one of the better teams from Europe in Red Reserve. And it looks like everything is against Tainted Minds, but is any of the other groups really standing out for you as a group of death? I mean,
see, to me, a group of death doesn't necessarily mean it's the group with like the best individual team on it.
Okay.
To me, I always try to rate it on what would be the hardest group for those teams in it. Mm-hmm. So you could have like a really good team in one group and then like other teams like that. But if you've got 4 teams that are all about the same level, to me, that's a harder group, you know what I mean? Because it's hard to pick, you know what I mean? The groups that are hard to pick. For me, Group A, I see like Pool A, I see Optic and Envy probably going through, to be honest. So I mean, it's hard, but because you've got Red Reserve, got a chance, but I think Optic and Envy would be too much. But I do agree. I think Pool C has got 4 decent teams in, you know what I mean? And yeah, FaZe are a little bit better, but the other 3, any of those could finish second and you wouldn't be massively surprised, you know what I mean? You wouldn't be like, oh my God, the rank outside has got it or that. So yeah, I think C probably is, well, in my opinion, the hardest group. But
right, well, let's go into them a little bit then. Let's start to break them down. So let's start off with that Pool A then, the one that we're toss up between us if we think it's group or death or not. And also, guys, remember, let us know in the chat. So we've got Optic Gaming, Team Envious, Red Reserve, and Tainted Minds. Now, in my eyes, personally, I think this is probably the hardest group that Tainted Minds could have gotten, which is unfortunate for them because they are behind Mindfreak after CWR Sydney. And really, if you're Tainted Minds now, Paradox, you must be kicking yourself thinking that you should have taken that series. You'd have put yourself in such a better position if these were the groups that were to come out from it. But obviously, if you guys don't know, there's only 1 spot for the Australian League to be able to make it into the LAN League. And at the minute, Mindfreak are holding it, I think, with 10,000, I think something like between 8,000 and 10,000 more pro points than Tainted Minds have. 13,000 more pro points.
Almost 14.
Wow. So an incredible amount of pro points. So if anything, Mindfreak need to really, really have a bad pool play and Tainted Minds need to at least come second. And with the way that the group's lining up, it doesn't look like it at all. But I think let's go through some predictions, though, of how we think the groups are going to pan out. I mean, I'm going to give mine straight off the bat. I see Optic Gaming. You know, they're looking strong. They look good in their scrims as well, the few that they managed to stream. And I also think they're coming off a win. You know, ESWC, they went up against FaZe, which is not a team to be underestimated, and they ended up beating them quite comfortably, I would say. So yeah, I think Optic Gaming will top it. I think it's a toss-up between Red Reserve and Team Envious. I think it comes down really to me who plays first. I think if Red Reserve can get a game against Optic Gaming at the start of the day, they could possibly... Oh, Paradox.
Here's the thing that makes that interesting, right? The second match of the event is Envy versus Red Reserve.
And that's the first game for both of them, yeah?
Yep.
See, I always think that the EU teams, for example, like Red Reserve, if they play in their first game of the day against the Americans, I honestly think that they've got a chance. But it comes down to obviously what the maps are as well. Because let's say if it goes to Breakout Hardpoint, we know the American teams are insane on Breakout Hardpoint. We know it can be very difficult sometimes for the EU teams to come back. You've also got to think as well that this Red Reserve roster is new. It's got Niall now as well. Don't get me wrong, Niall's still a quality player, though. I'm pretty sure he will assist this team in getting further. But I think that could be one of the biggest games of that whole group, that Red Reserve versus Team Envious match number 2. If Red Reserve take that, then, you know, I don't see Team Envious losing to Tainted Minds, but it means they have to beat Optic. I don't know. Personally, I'm going to give you my what I think. I think it's Optic Gaming. I'm going to go Team Envious, Red Reserve, and Tainted Minds. That's how I think it'll finish. I mean, what do you guys think? Paradox, you've had a bit of a touch in it. How do you think this one's laying out?
I feel like to go safe with it, you think Optic Envy, Red Reserve, Tainted Minds, and they get the top-seeded team coming out of the open bracket. So if the open bracket plays perfectly, they get Epsilon. So I feel like you might actually throw Epsilon into the 4th place spot there and put Tainted Minds and have them bottom out. But looking at this, that Envy Red Reserve matchup is absolutely huge.
Yeah.
And I honestly don't know, because I don't know what to expect from Envy coming into their first match of this event.
When is it that Optic play Tainted Minds? Do you know?
That is their first match.
So is that the first match of the day as well?
That's their... No, it's what, 4th?
It's their warm-up match, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. I think it does come down to that, though. I think you're right, Paradox. I think that Red Reserve Envious game is the decider for who gets top 2 in that one. I'm pretty confident Optic Gaming can take out Tainted Minds. But then obviously you've got to think, if it is it Epsilon, did you say, that will make it into that group if they win?
Yeah, if it
plays that itself, Epsilon have the capability to take down Red Reserve, and even have the capability to take down the likes of Envious or Optic, depending on obviously the time of day and whereabouts it is and everything. But you've got to think, though, Epsilon, if they're coming through open bracket, they're going to have been playing so much Call of Duty. So much Call of Duty. And that whole discussion, will it work in their favour or will it work against them? I don't know personally, but I mean, Tony, how's that one breaking down for you, 1 to 5?
I agree. I think if Epsilon come in there, they'll finish 4th. And Tainted Minds, not being able to... I mean, assuming they can play against them, because we know that discussion about how they play in the APAC region compared to other places. So that could come into it with someone like Epsilon and that. You've got to remember as well, Red Reserve and Epsilon just changed their teams around a little bit. And you know my love for a settled team. Like I've said it loads, why I thought Fnatic took time and that. And I just think it makes it... Especially on a big stage like this, I also try to always favour the home teams a little bit more. So... all our lads are having to travel over there. It's a different place in different surroundings. Some teams don't have managers and that. Some of them are professional enough, but you know what I mean, to keep everyone's head down and that. I just think that the home field advantage, Optic 1, Envious 2, Red Reserve 3, because I just think they're better. And then, like I said, Epsilon and Tainted Minds 4th or 5th.
Well, there you go then, guys. That's our predictions from us here. Let us know in the chat. Get involved. How you think Group A is going to finish out. But let's move on to Pool B. So we've got E United, Team Infused, Cloud9, and Mindfree. Now, this one for me is my most exciting group, just for the pure fact that Cloud9 are in here and they're expected to have a good event. I'm waiting for them to see it. But then you've thrown Mindfreak in there, who've just come off a win. They have. I'm not going to lie. Mindfreak have the capability to beat every single team in Pool B. You know, they've already beat Team Infused. E United, it's a
Paradox game, haven't it, mate?
That's the one that I'm a little bit shaky on, because E United's like really fast paced, really good at hitting stuff.
But so's Mindfreak.
They are. And that's why I'm really interested in that. I feel like that's a huge upset if it does happen, because remember, E United are coming off of an Atlanta championship.
And that could go down to be one of the most exciting series, because of the pure base that it is just going to be completely and utterly slaying power from both those two teams. I mean, I'm looking for individuals like Excite. Okay, Excite plays for Mindfreak. He's insane. Like, he can have an insane series. Shocks as well. And when he goes off, he goes off. Like, I'm looking for individuals like that. But I think Team Infused are stuck between a rock and a hard place in this group. They've got the likes of United at the top, who are obviously MLG champions. But then they've got they don't know how they're going to play against Mindfreak after the last time that they played Mindfreak beat them 3-2. And then you throw Cloud9 in there as well, and Aches needs a tournament win. So Infused, I think, may not look...
This is another difficult group, isn't it? When you think about it.
That's the thing, yeah.
With my reasoning, you know what I mean? Because they're 4 teams that are about as good as each other on their day, you know what I mean? That makes it another difficult group.
I honestly think, even though you look at Pool B and you go, okay, there ain't massively high-caliber organisations in this one, in terms of like how well they've played this... No,
that's wait.
How well they've played this year, apart from Team Infused. So I would say, so people would go, oh yeah, Team Infused are going to do all right in that one.
Well, they're like 10k points, you said, at the top of their league, and you're saying that they ain't done that.
I mean, they're not Splice, they're not Optic, they're not Envy, they're not FaZe, they're not Luminosity. Like,
look at me.
They're like, you know, there. But do you know, Paradox, just out of interest, who the team from Open Bracket would be?
It would be Gosu Crew. If it plays out perfectly, Gosu Crew would go into this one.
So Cloud9 versus Gosu Crew again?
Yep.
And that was
Drama Priest, Mox, and Exotic.
And that was when we saw, that was when Assault obviously pushed the player from Gosu Crew.
Oh, man.
And they're going to face up
You
against
couldn't write better storylines for this event, honestly.
They're going to face up against each other again. Cloud9, well, obviously that's if Gosu Crew are able to make it through that open bracket. I'm going to ask the tough question, though, and how you're going to break this one down then. So we know Gosu Crew are going to be the team that will join it if they make it. My 1 to 5 then. I'm going to go Team Infused, Cloud9, E United, Mind Freak, Gosu Crew. Okay. That's going to be mine. Paradox? So I put E United third.
You did, which actually that really just threw me off. I feel like E United and Fuse should battle for first place.
You don't think?
Funny enough, no, I don't think so. Right now, I don't, and especially they might. Okay, looking at Cloud9, they might be able to sneak that out because you think E United and Fuse, that's your first matchup between those two teams in that pool. Whereas Cloud9 starts off going against Mind Freak, and then they go into their game.
Well, that's a very. I honestly.
That's really good for C9.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Mind Freak beat Cloud9. I really wouldn't be surprised if Mind Freak beat Cloud9.
It's a matchup thing, right?
Because we've spoken about Cloud9 in the past being a very slow team.
Slow, yeah.
Yeah. Cloud9 are very slow, and Mind Freak are explosive. Like if they get in that position, that pocket where Cloud9 cannot control them, I honestly reckon Mind Freak might take that series.
The thing, though, even if C9 loses that series against Mind Freak, their next one's against E United. So they're warmed up and ready to go and playing against that fast-paced style before they go against E United, which you would say is the strongest team in that pool, arguably.
So what's your top 5 then?
All right. I'm saying I think Infuse comes out first here.
Okay.
I'm putting United second. I'm still not 100% sold on them. I don't want them to be a one-off, but every time if you win an event, you deserve some respect, right?
Okay.
100%. So I'm gonna put them second. I'm throwing in Cloud9 third. I don't know where to put Cloud9. That's the thing for me. Cloud9 can come out second or third in this one, and I honestly don't know. I feel like.
Come on, it's going to be the event.
Mind Freak fourth and then Gosu at the bottom. This one, I really don't know.
You know what?
I feel like you could just toss these teams up in the air and wherever they land, they land.
I'd like to point out we don't have someone just off camera holding a gun to him, and if he gets it wrong, we're not going to shoot him or anything like that. Nothing bad happens to Paradox.
I wonder where Johnny went. I wonder where he's gone.
Tell me he's taking ages like his life depends on it. Man, I can't get second or third, like.
Well, there you go. That's the pool B breakdown then from Paradox. So, Tony, we're going to fire it over to you then. Right. Your pool breakdown for this one. Do you agree with Paradox with it infused in first?
Yes, I do. I wrote this down so I didn't get infused by you. Right? So, I've written Infused first, E United second, Mind Freak third, Cloud9 fourth, and Gosu fifth.
Wow. Okay, Mind Freak third.
I think Mind Freak deserve a little bit more respect than they're getting, to be fair.
Okay.
I just think, you know what I mean? You can have an outstanding team coming from the APAC. There's no reason why you can't. Just think they're the 4 best at a massive region. Like, they don't all play Call of Duty, but big old. There's a big.
They're still the 4 best in whole of Australia.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So that's got to say something for them, and I just don't think Cloud9 are playing that well. So, like, and that's it. You know what I mean? Bullshit. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about a little bit more in the future though, as well, guys. You got to think as well. Cloud9 have a bad. Let's say not. They
can't have a bad pool.
Yeah, but let's say they have an all right pool, but they have a bad tournament and they get their pro points and they still qualify for the LAN League. They can't change their roster. Like they need a good event, not just for the fact that the points, but for the whole mentality of this whole team.
You don't want
like if they have a bad tournament again, Cloud9, the organization itself, will lose their spot if they were to draw the team out. And then they wouldn't do that as an organization because you want obviously the exposure as an org to have a team in the CWL. How is this? I just don't get how this team will ever play well in the LAN League if they don't have a good tournament this weekend. Especially when, let's be honest, they haven't even though we're talking about all the pools being hard, it's not the hardest pool Cloud9 could have got. I mean, they haven't got a FaZe, Envy, Optic, Splice, they haven't got the likes of them in it. It's still difficult, but Cloud9 need to have a good tournament when their pool isn't the worst pool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, it's that chat, isn't it? It's that case of, will they have a good one? Will X be able to do it? Let's see. Pool C then, we've got FaZe, Luminosity, Elevate, and Fnatic are in this pool all together. So, the pen is ready. Big F. It's FNATIC. Tenny's just writing down Fnatic across the board. Ready. He's doing his 1 to 4 anyway. So, actually, give us the 5th team there, Paradox, if they make it through.
So, what this would be, if the bracket plays out perfectly, which, of course, caveat here, almost never does, it would be iGame or 3G.
Right, okay. Throw in 3G in there, so iGamer. So, yeah, guys, just to really throw that out, we are going to get to Rostermania later, but if you didn't realize, 3G's roster, which is Zerg. Wait.
Here we go.
Zerg, Weeman, Desire, and Quicker. Yes!
Well done, mate. Well done.
Finally.
Woo! Get in. I managed to do it first time. But yes, they've been picked up by iGamer. So let's talk about this one then. Maybe they make it through. So my 1 to 5 for this one, I think you've got to put FaZe at the top. Okay, I think I'm going to go FaZe in first place. These next 3 teams, right? Luminosity, Elevate, and Fnatic, I think they are all teams that depend on the day. Like they are all Fnatic at ESWC. If they have an explosive performance, I could see Fnatic finishing second.
Yeah.
Because they beat Elevate and they beat Luminos. They beat Elevate. Did they beat Luminosity at ESWC?
I don't remember.
Or was it Elevate who beat Luminosity? One of those 2 teams beat Luminosity at ESWC. I can't remember who it was now. Luminosity obviously have their 4th back. There's that conversation. Saints is back. I'm going to go second place. Luminosity. Fnatic 3rd. 3G 4th. Elevate 5th. That's how I'm going to do it.
All right, I'm going to go.
Tough, though.
I'm going FaZe. I'm on FaZe Elevate for my top 2. Then I'm putting LG, and then I'm putting Fnatic. For Fnatic, though, I don't think that this is a bad Fnatic that we'll see in this pool. Okay. I just think that they'll look good in their games, but they're just going to come up a bit short.
Okay.
That's the Fnatic I think we see. So I feel like they could steal any of those spots, of course, but right now I have them in that 4th spot, and then I feel like 3G comes out and bottoms out in this pool, unfortunately.
What? Weeman? Your Weeman.
Weeman. Okay, Weeman did follow me too.
Okay,
so
I DM'd him. I'm going to say thanks.
Looking at this, then I don't even.
You just got followed by Weeman Paradox, and you put him 5th place in the pools. You're going to get the fastest unfollow.
This is one of the This is like legitimately the hardest pool I think to predict.
Because you've thrown. This is why I think it's hard. You've got 3 EU teams, right? Possibly being in this one, who are all capable of beating each other. And then you've got Luminosity, who once was that can be an absolute top dog American team. And you've got FaZe, who, let's be honest, in pool plays, sometimes looks great, sometimes looks edgy.
Yeah. FaZe gets to start off against Elevate this time, too. FaZe gets to start off against Elevate. Oh, it just hit me.
FaZe gets to start off against Elevate. Did you just see something in the future happen, Paradox?
I'm just thinking like Clayster and Rated.
Yep.
Again. Round 2. I feel like FaZe is going to be ready to go for that. But Elevate's... Oh, my... I don't know.
Do you want to just throw in the white flag?
Yep.
Okay. Tony, Paradox has taken the safety way out.
I've got this. All right.
Here we go.
I can't decide between 1st and 2nd, right? But it's going to be a Fnatic Elevate 1-2. I got the brothers in Fnatic and I got Reedy in Elevate, anyway.
Okay.
Then FaZe, then Luminosity, then iGamers. I love Weeman, but no, I'm going to put iGamers above Luminosity.
Okay.
You know, I'm never giving a serious answer when it's my friends in the group. This dog's loyal, mate. I'm telling you, they're my boys. I ain't gonna say anything.
It is true though. This is like incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
Especially for me, out of those teams, there's so many people I like and actually really do like that I can't pick against them, mate.
It's legitimately the European squads kind of screw this up because, like you said, Jack, like they can all beat each other.
Yeah.
Then even with Saints coming back to LG, I don't know which LG I'm going to see. Am I going to see the LG that I expect to see in bracket stages, or I'm going to see an LG that's like, all right, we're 6th in pro points, we're pretty much safe.
You'd expect
this one's just for practice.
You'd expect FaZe to top the group.
Yeah, I expect FaZe.
You see, but I don't know. You know, it's like you would because on paper I'd say I expect FaZe to top the group, but they're going up against 3 EU teams. Like they're going up against 3 teams that they don't play against on the regular basis. Yes, they played against them at ESWC and they played against them at LG Vegas, but these are new rosters.
Don't play against them neither.
And these are new rosters though as well. FaZe is a guest, like you were saying. No, Fnatic isn't, sorry. But you were saying, weren't you, about FaZe, about rosters that stick. FaZe obviously is a roster that's stuck. Fnatic is a roster that's stuck.
I just think it does you a favour, like.
I want to go to the Twitch chat and see what people are saying.
You can say the rosters that stick do you a favor, but I mean, look at the past year for FaZe. I don't want to throw them under the bus, but they didn't have the best performance in Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
Like, the chemistry is there, but there's something that's not working. The thing, though, with them switching up their style a little bit more, like Clay's going to go back to that sort of main AR role.
Yeah.
That I feel like that helps them a lot, and especially in that matchup.
You know what? We were talking about that we were scrimming last night, and we was actually talking about Clay Style, like, playing that role and saying he's one of the best at that role.
Oh, yeah.
I think as well, in terms of FaZe Optic, when they go up against each other, that'll help them massively in terms of the Clayster versus Formal. You know, because I think one of the main reasons why Optic are so dominant is because Formal just is allowed so much time on the map to just pick players off as they come from spawn, and he doesn't really get challenged. I think really the last time I saw Formal get challenged, honestly, was Arcities. So the last time I saw someone really challenge Formal was Arcities, when it was just basically, I think, was it Formal that said he'd never come up against a player before, like Arcities, that actually did what Formal does, which is perfectly positioning. You know, like he says, normally everyone he came up against, I mean, he's very confident, but normally everyone he came up against, he's just poos on. But he said Arcities was positioning himself way better than any of the people I ever play against in the pro scene. And I think Clayster is that individual that can do that. But I want to go to the chat, though, because we need a little bit of help on this one for Group C. So DMH says, Fnatic outplays Luminosity, in my opinion. FaZe top it, though. So possibly a FaZe, Fnatic, Luminosity. Live Custom says, I got LG and FaZe, both teams on another level compared to Fnatic and Elevate. Wouldn't say LG are on another level, to be honest, compared to Fnatic and Elevate, says DMH. But to be honest with you, yeah, most people are confused as well. Most people are a little bit stuck on this one. And I think we're just going to have to wait to see what happens with that. Like you say, and I said a lot, there are a lot of teams in that all come down to how they play on the day. Let's go into Pool D, though. Rise Nation, Splice, Enigma 6 Group, Panda Gaming, and who is the team making it through, possibly Paradox?
That's a funny thing for you. Those are your boys on Allegiance.
Oh, Allegiance. Guess who he thinks is winning this one?
Well, I would have going to say Splice, but nope. Allegiance. See, so in Pool C...
Allegiance has to go against EG to get out of that and make it in there. So you have Allegiance.
There is every possibility, though, that at this rate, Study might end up actually playing as he lands.
Yeah.
Well, actually, let's talk about that, Paradox. I'll let you have a little bit of a say on that one. So if anybody that doesn't realise, you don't really follow the pro players on Twitter, there's a lot of stuff going down at the minute in terms of players getting to MLG Dallas. So what's going down, Paradox?
So
I'm going to a news reporter like outside. Paradox, from MLG Dallas, what is going down right now?
All right. So as far as I know of, like, Study's flight's been officially canceled, I think. He had like 2 flights he could have waited on. One of them was at 4 p.m. Eastern time today. Wasn't able to make it onto that one. And I think the other one was a 6:30 a.m. Possibly not going to make it on that one either. Last time I tweeted at him, as far as I know, he has to book his flight again.
Okay.
So I don't know what's going on with that. I know Spacely leaves out. Does Spacely even leave out tomorrow, I think, for G2? So that's scary to think, like, both those players might be playing as they land. I know Study even make the joke like I'll bring my luggage to the venue as soon as I land and just hop on and play. Who I think Goonjar was having some trouble as well. I think Happy might have been having some trouble too. So this is going to be ridiculous, especially all like the snow going on the eastern coast. Like, some of these players really going to be hard for them to get to the venue, and that's really going to shake some things up. I feel like in some of the matches.
Just casually throwing gang signs while Paradox. But anyway, yeah. So that's right, guys. MLG Dallas is obviously there's a lot of bad weather happening over there, and some people are struggling to get to the event. But hopefully, all teams can turn up, and it will really help. I want to see all these teams here. The likes of EG maybe make it into pool play, but they've got a tough road to go on as well. But anyway, so it's Pool D. So let's say then it is actually going to be Allegiance that make it. It will be Allegiance. It will be. Do you think EG will?
I think EG has to. They have to. It's not like a will they, might they. Allegiance, let me look once again because I don't want to burn myself. Okay. So the funniest thing about this is the fact that you have that 4-5 matchup, EG Allegiance, to get into that pool play spot. Those teams are 11th and 12th in NA Pro points, separated by less than 100 points.
Wow.
And both of these teams are on the bubble to try and take a spot from Panda, and they're less than 6K away from Panda.
Panda. I just can't help but
Allegiance is a huge matchup.
So Panda as well as that team that's in that area as well. So either of those two teams that make it in need to outplace Panda to make it into the LAN League.
The teams on the bubble in NA are E6, Cloud9, Panda. Those three, of course, they're in pools. They are in the driver's seat. You got Gosu, EG, and Allegiance right outside.
Wow. So MLG, if you are watching, then make sure we get
about 26 viewers.
Yeah, make sure you get E6 or Allegiance. I want that game on stream. I want E6 versus Allegiance on stream. I know it's an open bracket game and it might not make it, but if we can get that one on stream, that would be insane to watch with how much is on the line for those two teams. So it's basically the answer then, really, Paradox, is whichever those team loses is not making the LAN League.
What, they would go into the losers bracket, they would have to make a huge run.
Okay.
Like, best case scenario, you would say for one of these teams is like you would have E6 and Panda bottom out. So then you're facing them in losers bracket. You still kind of make a pretty deep of a run, maybe like losers round 4. I'm not even sure. Like, I haven't worked out the points myself, but honestly, when it comes to, like, we look at the other two regions, like APAC pretty much done, right? I'm sorry, unless Tainted Minds come out and have the event of a lifetime, they're not going to make it into the Global Pro League. Europe, you're only looking at 3 teams. You're looking at iGame, which is right outside, and you have Epsilon. Both of those teams are in open bracket. That's another story we have to watch. NA, honestly, the 3 teams that are in pool play, they are the deciders, 100%. Panda, you can't drop out because Gosu is on your heels at what, 1,000K difference?
Yeah.
Like, you have a 1K difference there. You have the top team on the bubble at E6 sitting at 73,925. Your lowest team on the bubble is Allegiance at 56,295. That's a big difference. But if you're bottoming out in pools, if you're E6 and if you're making a huge run like we know Allegiance can do, and they've done it before, like Sinful looking at Active Vegas, that's still scary. Yeah. You have to show up and play.
So I'm going to come down to it then, but let's really, really quickly do the 1 to 5 then for Pool D. So I don't know. Let's say, who do we think's making it, Allegiance or EG? Pick a name real quick.
EG.
EG. Paradox. EG. Right. Let's throw EG in Pool D then. So EG's in Pool D. Let's do a 1 to 5 then. In my eyes, I think Splice top this one. Splice are going to finish first. Rise Nation second. I think Panda Gaming third. E6 fourth, and EG fifth. That's my breakdown for this.
I'm going Splice. Yeah, I'm going Splice at the top. My thing for Splice, I need to see Bance. I need to see him step up as a leader. Ideally, you think with the roster change, Mad Cat's the one that steps up and takes over that role.
This is the thing. Josh has gone, hasn't he? And we always spoke about it, yeah.
And it's like, who's going to step up? I think it's Bance's time to shine. right now. He's having a really good game. He had a really good year last year. This is nothing against Mad Cat.
He genuinely believes he's the best player in the world as well. Like.
Yeah.
And you think it's nothing against Mad Cat. Mad Cat shows up and just kills absolutely everything. I just say keep him in that role, right?
Mm.
Don't have him try and bite off more than he can chew. Put Bance in that role. If he's able to step up and they perform, they should get first in this pool. I think that second spot, toss up between Rise and E6. I want to see how Rise is playing right now, though. You think it's not a team that you look at to do that well online? E6 is a team that seems to be in a good run, but then again, they're a team that always performs a little bit better online. Right now, I feel like it comes down to chemistry. If you give it chemistry overall and with the new meta coming in, I feel E6 is practice. They can sneak out that second spot there for sure. And I feel like if EG is the one that makes it in, they're going to finish fourth.
And then you say Panda finish healthy.
Panda will be at the bottom.
Panda.
Okay, then Tony. Are you agreeing with me then? So Splice top, Rise second.
Do you know what, right? See, this is why I normally write it down, because he's made me think about it again. Right? I do think Splice are going to come first, to be fair. Like, and then I think it's going to be Rise. But Rise always do well at the start and the end, don't they? And then they fall off a bit in the middle. It's like they just, I don't know, put their feet up and play too much CSGO. That's a dig at my captain, Pato, to be fair. Like. And then, yeah, so I'm going to go Rise E6, Panda, and then EG after. Just
the interesting thing about this one is we looked at Pool C and we said you're throwing 3 EU teams into there. With Pool D, you're throwing 3 top amateur American teams in there, and that's why it's difficult. I would say top, E6, Panda, and EG?
No, you said amateur, though, didn't you? I wouldn't call them amateur.
Top am.
To me, they're professional wolves, mate. They're in the pool play at this thing. Like, define amateur otherwise, like.
Okay.
I might have been their money. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that makes. I guess I'm just okay. Let me reword it. High caliber.
Yeah,
high caliber.
Elitist. That's what it is, bro.
The bottom end of the pro point ladder, trying to make it through, and I think that's why Pool D. I mean. The thing you've got to think into consideration as well, Paradox, actually, sometimes just went over my head completely, is that you may be looking at this thinking Splice and Rise are in a comfy position going up against 3 of the bottom teams, but because of how much these 3 bottom teams need it, they're going to play their absolute hearts out. Screw the gentleman's rule. Splice, you're playing all sorts of crazy stuff because these 3 teams need it more than anything.
Especially Panda, because they're 1,000 points from dropping out.
Yeah.
That's 500K.
So do you think this is where we're going to see
at their heels, separated
we're
by
going to see the gentleman's agreement go out the window anyway? You're saying it's going to be Pool D.
That group, no way. That group, gentleman's agreement out the window for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's crazy that it comes down to that. So much then for MLG Dallas. It's going to be extremely exciting, guys. We've broken down pools for you. We're giving you all the predictions that we possibly can, and I just want to go really quickly to the chat. Live Custom says first Splice, second E6. Completely not even putting Rise in the top 2. Cypher said first Splice, second EG, which is interesting. So if EG do make it through, maybe they make it all the way through and manage to second place it. So yeah, they're the ones that we had it in from the chat. But yeah, guys, make sure you don't miss it. It's going to be absolutely fun, filled, packed with storylines. So many teams are literally on the brink of making it in. But we really, really want to quickly do a little bit of Rostermania news update for you guys. So let's quickly throw to our lovely Rostermania little GIF thing that we have. And when we do return, we'll start to break down Rostermania for you. Welcome back. Rostermania. It's time to start breaking it down. That's a nice little GIF. Nice little thing that we have there. It's lovely. But let's talk about Rostermania. So biggest one that's happened so far this weekend is the professional French organization Millennium no longer has a Call of Duty roster. Now that in itself, Paradox, is crazy. The likes of Tommy, the likes of Swanee, the likes of Mad Cat have all played under this organization, and they no longer have a COD team. So I was taking a look earlier at the post that they posted on their website, the Millennium actual official site. The team was Maxi, Mals, and Tony JS, and basically they just haven't lived up to expectations. They said it, Millennium openly said, look, after ESWC, it was a bad performance on home soil. We really should have, at least had some sort of bracket performance.
Imagine when they had to cheat to beat certain UK teams.
It's coming out. It's coming out. But also, yeah, so that's it. Millennium no longer dipping their toes at all in the Call of Duty scene for now, with no more roster left. But they are going to help financially support those guys and helping them getting a new roster. Let's move on. The Whalers leaves Vitality to join Supremacy. So he's going to be competing at MLG Dallas this weekend under the roster Supremacy. Quite a big change, really, if you're a French fan. I kind of feel like if a player leaves Vitality to join Supremacy, it's like a rivalry, isn't it? You're joining the rival organization. It's like seeing Crimsix join FaZe. Like, what? You wouldn't see that happen.
He's good, though. I actually quite rate Whalers. I think he's a decent player.
He is a name in the French scene that a lot of EU and NA players know about that name.
Honestly,
he is quite good. I feel like he's on the same path that Kataga took to getting towards top end French player. He's definitely close to being there. Team 3G joins iGame for CWL Dallas. That's something we spoke about. And if you haven't checked it, go check out Quicker's tweet. The apartment that iGame have put them in.
Do you know what? I'm quite happy for these lads as well, because I'd have felt bad for him not going there. I said, Wee Man is a lovely lad, as Paradox will tell you. You know what I mean? He's got a big crush on him and that. But we generally know Wee Man as well. You know what I mean? And he is a good lad, and I'm glad that he's got to go there. But so are the rest. They work really, really, really hard. They were putting in crazy hours, in the
Look
PvP.
Back to Black Ops 3, Tony, with Zerg, who was in it for a little bit in the LAN League, and then he not in the LAN League, but in the CWL, and he missed out, and he was literally.
The thing is, Dad's Niall go and leave him as well, you know what I mean? I'd love these lads to do well, just because they've last minute they've got picked up and all that, and like I said, they're all nice lads, you know what I mean? There isn't. Yeah. And like I said, I really would like them to do well. Be a bit of a fairy tale story.
This was another team that's your bubble team in Europe, right? It's either them or Epsilon. Epsilon, if this team wasn't picked up and they didn't come over, guaranteed spot for Epsilon. It's crazy
though that the likes of Epsilon might not be in the CWL LAN League. That is just crazy. I mean, that an organization that has been around for so long in European Call of Duty at the top end might not make it in. I want to talk about Rampage Gaming. You know a little bit about this one, Paradox, so I'm going to fire it over to you. So Rampage Gaming is a Malaysian team, and they're looking for sponsors for CWL Sydney 2. Is that correct?
Yes. So Rampage Gaming's your second team when it comes to sort of the Asian region, not Asian Pacific as a whole, because, really it's really weighed towards the Australians, right? So you'd look at Rampage and Unveil Nova. Rampage is the Malaysian team. They play second at the Asia World Championship, and they're trying to get to CWL Sydney 2. They're currently 10th in pro points in APAC, and they want to make a run and position themselves to make it into stage 2 of the Global Pro League. So hopefully they can get out to Sydney 2. It's not until May, so I'll keep my eyes open and see if they're able to get there. I would love to see them play again.
And we really want them to make it. I mean, it's called the APAC region, but at the minute it is, like you said, it might as well just be the Australian region. We want to see more teams getting involved. Pacific region, Asian Pacific, needs to build up with loads of more teams. It was just so good to see loads of different teams making it through. But let's talk about the roster changes a little bit closer to home for me and Tony in the amateur scene. Starting off with iDemeanor. So iDemeanor sent a team to ESWC. Didn't place quite well. The whole roster was changed. It's now Relic, Shawnee, Hayes, and Enmickey XP. Now, Enmickey XP is a name that not many people may have heard of, but he's a player that I used to team with back in AW, and he's really starting to get into the game, and he is actually quite a solid player, so I'm excited to see what iDemeanor Esports can do. Omni Esports have picked up Hesh, Profits, Atriox instead. Mandown Esports is Fringe, Nexa, Circus, and Braid RR. Team Plasnite Youth, Felvers, Chexco.
I love this bit. This is my favourite bit.
I hate this bit.
This is my favourite bit.
Chexo, okay. Hoxtron, Minical. Enmity Home have closed down as an organisation. Expire Nation, Res Cod has made a return. D-Treats, Louis CM, and Cambo. Cambo's also made a return as well. Maxima team is Dexter, Haz, Azure, and Dreams. Oblivion have picked up the roster HJ, Delays, Virus, and Jaffa. And finally, Natium HQ is Climate Bra, Icy Moore, Magnifix, and Cypher_N7. They will all be competing at Insomnia 60, apart from the youth team that we announced. So we will see those. And let's talk about it. Insomnia 60 is not that far away as well. We've got events coming up. So UMG also announced the 10K Pro-Am in Canada. Now, I'm pretty sure I saw that it was Maven, Mr. X, and Courage who were the casters for that one.
Different one. That's World Gaming.
Oh, right.
Close
So that's
though.
different. What's that? What's that then that got announced?
So the World Gaming, this would be their championships. They had a qualifier not too long ago, and that's partnered with like Cineplex and everything. So this would be like the finals of that. We're seeing a lot of the Canadian pros really come out for this one. I believe it's around 60K for that, but we're seeing like the likes of Goonjar, Ivy, Gunless, a lot of the top names when it comes to Holler in Canada team up and go to that one, and those three from the CWL, of course, will be doing the commentating for that one. UMG, that one is in Sault Ste. Marie, Canada. So since I live in Michigan here in the United States, I'll get out my little map of the state of Michigan, which looks like a hand. So you have the Upper Peninsula up here. Sault Ste. Marie is like up here. So there's a city, Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, and then there's Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. They're right across from each other, and that's where the pro
trying to get some work.
Maybe. Might be. I would love to be able to go there.
You could be the Canadian weatherman with the way that map was going.
Yeah. See?
I like that. That was pretty good, that was. Upcoming CWL events, though, we've got Birmingham around the corner, as we said. I-60 is on its way. It's not that far away. April the 14th, literally a month away now, where we're going to see the likes of Bulldog. Can they retain their Insomnia title? They are currently the holders.
Almost got the checkout. It's there. It's literally within touching distance.
That's right, though. Bulldog are obviously I-59 champions, so they are the holders. Will they be able to hold it against the likes of some of the best European teams fighting it out in Birmingham?
We haven't even announced our team yet.
Global Pro League as well. It begins just after Dallas. Our first season of the CWL LAN League will begin, where we'll see those teams go up against each other. But first, we have to see who qualifies from Dallas to make those final spots. Right then, guys. So much Call of Duty action is coming up. Everything to come and look forward to in the future. But first stop for us on this train will be MLG Dallas. I want to thank everybody, though, that had joined us in the show this evening. Thank you very much to Weeman for following Paradox. And I didn't, unfortunately, nobody sent me a picture, I don't think. No, I didn't get a picture. Looks like we're gonna have to keep the X Gamer to ourselves then.
I bet you're well happy there.
What a shame. What a shame. But no, anyway, guys, if you do actually decide to make an Esports Hub logo, then do send it in, because we do post them on our Twitter. We'd love to see people supporting us here at the Esports Hub. I'm going to plug it one more time, but the website is now live. We'll link it in the chat for you once again. Go make your accounts as quick as you can. Get that OG name. And there are a lot of tournaments to come in the future, loads of leagues. We've got the likes of Call of Duty. We've even got the likes of RuneScape are going to have their own ladder. And also League of Legends will be there as well. Guys, there's so much to look forward to from the Esports Hub, but so much in general in terms of Call of Duty. Thank you very much, Tony, for joining us once again.
Right,
Thank you very much, Powered Up.
Me, actually.
Thank you.
Oh, did he? What did we message you?
But he said that, so, because obviously I asked him to follow him. So he's like, he's going to give the show a watch later. He's enjoying a nice barbecue at the moment.
Oh, no. He's going to hear me put them in fifth.
I know, after you follow them as well, mate.
This is going to be interesting.
I'll hook you up and then you do that.
So I've just had Stace tweet me as well saying, I demeanor, disappointing placement. I meant for the organisation. I mean, it's the second biggest organisation in the whole of Italy. In terms of the organisation. Sublime. Yeah. There we go. Anyway, we're rounding up this show. We're finished here on the Esports Hub. Thank you very much, Paradox, once again. Thank you very much, Tony. Thank you to Kendall, the man behind the camera, the man behind the production. He does everything that you guys see on the screen. And once again, thank you to Johnny, who obviously runs the Esports Hub show. That's been everything to us for this weekend. MLG Dallas is on its way. Who do you think is going to take the championship? Make sure you're all tuning in. And next week, we will cover everything that went down in Dallas.